Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Dan the Fix-It Man. Got another quick video here for you. I'm going to show you how to raise your spare tire an inch or two on a Toyota Land Cruiser, or in this case a Lexus LX450. This is similar to the 80 series Land Cruiser, and it's a pretty popular mod to get the spare tire a little bit higher, tucked up underneath, so you've got a little bit more clearance and less likely to hit that on a rock or drag that on something. And of course I've got a tow hitch on this rig here too, but the tire, which I've got it off over here. I did another video on how to remove your spare tire, but I've got that out of the way, so I'm going to get up underneath and show you how to raise the carriage, which will in turn raise your spare tire about 1.5 inches. I know it doesn't seem like much, but it does make a big difference getting that tire tucked up underneath, especially if you've got larger than the stock tires on there. So I'm going to set the camera down, get set up, and show you how to do that. This is the spare tire carriage here, and there's 3 bolts on either side that hold this on. You're going to get at those from the top, and that's a 12mm wrench or socket. I'm using these gear wrench. Go ahead and loosen those up. And there's 3 on the other side as well, but I already loosened these just to speed things up. Okay, here's the other side. This is the passenger side of the vehicle, and same thing. There's 3 of these bolts up above, and those are 12mm head. And so as soon as you get that off, this piece is now loose, and you can go ahead and take this out of the vehicle. Okay, now that we have the spare tire support and the crank out of the vehicle, what you're also going to need to do, change the elevation of the crank, or else when you put in the handle over here, that won't line up. So very easy to do. We just want to flip this over. And I've already started here, but there's 4 bolts that hold that little crank up at the top, and you just, with a 12mm, you want to loosen those, take those out. And we're going to be replacing all of these bolts with longer ones, so that we can also put some spacers in there, some short pieces of pipe, in order to align this crank so that the crank handle will fit through the bumper and you'll be able to lower that tire. Okay, so for the parts list, all you need are 6 of these bolts. These are 3 inches long. You just want to match up the threads with the existing bolt that came off. This is from the carriage, that they're the spare tire carrier bar. And then these 4, what I did are 1.75 inches long. Again, I just took the existing bolt to match up the threads. And on these ones go for the crank mechanism. Those ones, I'm not extending as far as these, because that's just how the alignment works on that crank handle. So what we're doing is I've got these painted. These are just some pipe nipples that I bought. We're going to use these here, which are 2 inches. I just painted them, but these are 2 inches long to extend the carrier upwards, and then these short pieces over here are 1 inch to move that crank, or that little, the winch portion, back down 1 inch so that it lines up with the crank handle. Again, you can use any type of extension. You can use a stack of washers. I've seen guys using square tubing, but as long as you can get that cut to the right lengths, that's fine. I did see one write-up on here on YouTube where somebody was doing it 5 inches and trying to raise that spare tire carrier up that high. Now the carrier will go that high, but because of the cross members, your spare tire is not going to go that high. It's actually gonna end up making it go up crooked, and it'll end up dropping down, and you'll be in a worse situation. So you need to know how far you can go depending on the width and thickness of your tire. But the tire will hit a cross member there underneath, so you can't go, as far as I know, you can't go 5 inches up. Okay, so now I've got these 1-inch pipe nipple spacers in there, and I got the bolts through, the longer bolts. These are the 1 3/4 bolts, and these go right into that carriage. They're just long enough. And I'm using lock washers on here too, just to keep it nice and snug. And so going down the road, any vibrations don't loosen this up. Now we can put this piece back in the car, and we'll get the longer bolts and the longer pipe nipple extensions, and I'll show you how that goes in. Okay, now that you've got the cross member up, you're going to go ahead and lift with one hand, slide that pipe nipple in, and then you're going to take your longer bolt and feed that in from the top, and you're going to line it up with that nut that's welded on the frame, and just kind of put that in hand tight for now. 2 more on this side and 3 on the other, and you just slide the pipe nipple into place, put those bolts through, line them up, and thread those in. Okay, the last one. Like so. And again, I'm using lock washers on these just like that, just to hold everything in place. A lock washer and then a larger washer to hold that in where it needs to go. And you just thread those in. Okay, and the last 2, I'm just going to go ahead and put both of those in. And that's the last one. Okay, then just need to tighten those all down. Okay, now both sides are in with the extensions there, and you can see the carriage is here, and it's got its extension dropping it back down, and this side is in. It's all tightened up. You can go ahead and put the spare tire back in, and you're good to go. And there is the finished product. The spare tire is, I don't know how well you can see it in the video, but it's a lot higher than it was. It's actually about level with that tow hitch, which is what I was hoping for. So it's about 2 inches taller than it was. It was hanging down well below. And thanks again for watching, and good luck.